mission abroad. Also, if we have some time, some sequester talk. There's no deal on sequester as of late. The deadline has arrived without lawmakers reaching a deal. At 11:59 tonight, it will kick in. Peter Ducey live in Washington with the latest and previews the big morning meeting. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Brian, and remember, large majorities of both houses of Congress voted in favor of the Budget Control Act, knowing that if the debt-reducing supercommittee failed, then sequestration was possible. That supercommittee did fail back in 2011, and fast forward to yesterday when Congress adjourned for the weekend with no deal in place to avoid the automatic cuts that go into effect by midnight. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said the White House and Congress share the blame for what's coming.
You've got one obligation that nobody in this body has. You're the commander-in-chief of the United States. They trust you. They need you. How any commander-in-chief could have been comfortable with the idea that if the supercommittee fails, we're going to gut the military. And you haven't lifted a finger in the last year to do anything about it. This is pathetic leadership by the commander-in-chief. This is an abandonment of the Republican Party's belief in peace through strength. This is the low point in my time in the United States Congress.
But President Obama doesn't think any of the pain caused by sequestration is his fault. He released a statement last night after the close of business that placed the blame squarely on the shoulders of Republicans in the Senate, saying, quote, Republicans in the Senate faced a choice about how to grow our economy and reduce our deficit, and instead of closing a single tax loophole that benefits the well-off and well-connected, they chose to cut vital services for children, seniors, our men and women in uniform, and their families. The president will meet with the leader of the Republican Senate he blames for sequestration, Mitch McConnell, about 4 hours from right now. Speaker Boehner join them, as will Democratic leaders Senator Harry Reid and Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. But remember, Congress is presently adjourned until Monday. Back to you in New York.
So nothing can get done. Peter, thank you very much. Of course, we've heard Charles Krauthammer say that the thing the White House is worried about is that the sequester happens and America doesn't really notice because the changes are so minute over time. But Maxine Waters made it very clear that this is going to hurt. She said, did you hear this? She said that up to 170 million people will lose their jobs.
We're going to have a lot of people from other countries come in just to lose their jobs for that number to work out. I ask you a question.
Yes.
Who said this yesterday? Rise up, O God, and save us from ourselves.
Dennis Rodman?
No.
I can't imagine anybody on Capitol Hill saying it.
Barry Black, the House chaplain, said, can we please stop the sequester and save us from ourselves? Because that's exactly what's happening. Automatic cuts are going to kick in. The CBO says only $45 billion as opposed to the $85 billion. Senator John McCain will begin to weigh in on that. But what do you think about controlling the spending? Fox News did a poll. Where do they find the time? And they asked this question. Voters who were asked, is sequester needed to make Congress cut back on spending? Most of you said yes. 57% only with automatic cuts. 29% lawmakers can do it on their own. They never have.
That's sad.
14% unsure.
Well, and these are educated people answering this question because they realize that the Senate has not passed a budget in however many years. So they're, you know, to many extents, they're correct. They need help to be able to do this. So is this the beginning of the help, or is it being there? Is it going to happen in the wrong way? Here's another question. Prefer new budget deal. What would you prefer the new budget deal to focus on? Only on cutting spending, 33%. Mostly on cuts, some taxes, 19%. On equal mix of cuts and taxes. See, that's what the president's banking on, right? That 36% number. Because he keeps talking about fair share, equal balance, a mix of cuts and taxes. And you see that that competes directly with only cutting the spending.
You know, when we opened up the phones yesterday on the radio, people were saying, why don't they just give the president more power? Why don't they, Republicans, give it to him? Yesterday, they tried to give the president more power. Their last-ditch effort was this. Let's give the president power to put sequester aside and let him cut where he needs to cut to get to the $85 billion. That got voted down 62 to 35. The Democrats wanted to replace the cuts with higher taxes on millionaires. That actually won 51-49, but you need 60 votes.
But the president himself said that he did not want the power.
He doesn't want it.
He said 2 days ago that he didn't. Amazingly so, he said, as the leader of the free world, that he did not want the power to have to make these decisions, even though he could have had the power in an executive order and chosen which way these cuts would actually happen.
Because he wants